I'm sure everyone out there wants to be financially independent and financially stable. Definition of financial independence is different for everyone. So financial independence basically is to be able to do anything without worrying about money. So without any further delay, let me take you to 7 steps to become financially independent. My name is Gurleen Kaur Tikku and I'm a certified financial planner, and I bring videos for you every week simplifying your personal financial life and various tips on how you can improve your financial life. So moving on to the video, which is 7 steps to become financially independent. The first step is changing your mindset. Yes, mindset makes a lot of difference. Changing your mindset from being a consumer to an investor. Once we change our mindset and become an investor, we'll be able to multiply our money. We'll be able to see benefit of compounding in our portfolio, and we'll be able to keep our money invested for a longer period of time. Transition of changing from consumer to an investor requires taking 3 steps. So first is, of course, making money. You should be making money to be able to invest and, save and invest. There are n number of ways of making money. It can be business, it can be job, it can be making videos on YouTube or anything, whatever rocks your boat. And second step is keeping money aside, which is also called saving. Doing budgeting and saving a part of your monthly income towards investments. So the formula of income minus savings is equal to expenses. So this is the formula that should be applied. Otherwise, what people do is they generally apply income minus expenses. Is what is left is saved after spending on various wants and needs. So I made a separate video which shows how you can manage your wants and needs, and how you can apply 50-30-20 formula in your financial life. So you can see that video as well. What next? So third is actually multiplying the money. If I talk about the Indian mindset, we are good at making money. We know how to make money. We are good at saving also. If you talk about your parents, your grandparents. So we have been, the principle of savings has been instilled in us. Paisa bachao, paisa bachao. The principle of savings is already there. But when it comes to multiplying your money, when it comes to investing, so we are not actually very good at it. So we are keeping our money at the conservative places, which gives us return that is less than the inflation also. The rate of interest at the investment products that we've invested in is less than inflation. How will our money multiply and grow? So this has to be taken care of, investing in the right asset classes as per your goals and objectives and risk appetite. Second step is visualizing how a financially independent life looks like. If you visualize it, if you manifest it, you think about it, how will things be once you become financially independent? So financial independence, as I said in the beginning, the definition of financial independence is different for everyone. So if I talk about our son Hargun, he's 16 years old. So financial independence for him means buying, he's a speed cuber. So buying cubes, good quality cubes, the new cubes that are there in the market without worrying about the cost of the cubes. So without worrying about money, that is called financial freedom. I'll give you an example about our daughter. She is 12 years old and she's a painter. She's an artist. She paints. She wants to buy art supplies at her own convenience. Whenever she wants, whenever she likes, she should be able to buy that. That's financial independence for her. So financial independence, your financial independence and my financial independence or anybody else's financial independence will be totally different. They can't be same. So work on how your financially independent life would look like. Next step towards financial independence is budgeting and allocating savings. So this is the most important step. The more you save, the more you'll be able to invest, and you have a great financially independent life in future. So budget is the key most important aspect of any financial life. So budgeting is writing your expenses, differentiating between needs and wants. Remember that formula of 50-30-20? So differentiating between needs and wants. And most of the times we feel, when we are spending on something, there's an impulse purchase, and we feel, this is something that I actually need. But if you think about it deeply, you'll realize those are your wants, not your needs. It's okay to go overboard once in a while, but not regularly. We are humans and we tend to buy, things that we actually don't need. We actually wish to have those things in our life, but sooner or later we realize, these things are actually not required, and you take a corrective action in future. So by doing this exercise of budgeting, you'll be able to identify what is actually, you can save every month and you can invest every month. So next step towards financial independence is creating an emergency fund. Emergency fund is something that needs to be there in your bank account, lying liquid, which is 3 to 6 months of your salary. It should be there at all given points of time and should be touched in case of real emergency only. So real emergency, you only know when you're, withdrawing from that account. You should be very well aware that, right, this is an emergency and I'm withdrawing for this purpose. But otherwise, that money should not be touched at all times. So that should be 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses at all given points of time. And also it should be highly liquid. If you want it overnight also, you should be able to withdraw that money. So before investing, it's extremely important to have an emergency fund. So before investing into a real estate or a mutual fund or something else which gets locked in for a longer period of time, it's important to have emergency fund in place. So the next step towards financial freedom is learn how to multiply your money. As I mentioned earlier in the video, so no, saving is not enough. Only saving is not enough. It needs to be multiplied. It needs to be grown to beat inflation. So there are different asset classes available, which is your debt, equity, real estate, gold. So debt is fixed deposits, liquid funds, debt funds, government securities, bonds, and then equity is direct equity, mutual funds, then real estate funds, gold can be, there are different ways to invest in golds. I made a video on that as well. 5 different ways of investing in golds. You can go and have a look at that if gold interests you. These are different asset classes available. You should be investing in those as per your goals and as per your risk appetite. You need to have a balanced portfolio. Like you can't put all your money in one basket. You can't put all your money in real estate or mutual funds or bank FD. I'll tell you why. Because real estate is something which is highly illiquid. If you want your money back at any given point of time, it's not in your hands. There is no buyer or it doesn't sell at your desired rate. Mutual funds is something which is market linked. So again, market risk is there. If you are okay with putting 100% there, again, that is not advisable. Some part of your portfolio can be there in mutual funds. And then comes FD. FD is something which will give you fixed deposit, which will give you a return of 5% or maybe more. But our inflation is way higher than that. It's close to 7.5%. So how are we actually going to multiply our money there lying in FDs? Some part, of course, should be there. As I mentioned, a balanced portfolio is the key to being financially independent. So because I'll take an example of last year, like COVID happened. A lot of people had invested in real estate or, some assets where they cannot withdraw their money. And there was a real emergency and emergency fund was not there. So it was a crisis situation where people could actually not withdraw their own hard-earned money lying in assets which were illiquid. It's extremely important to invest as per your risk appetite. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you content is what you should be investing in. So it can be a well-balanced, diversified portfolio. So just do your own due diligence and study about them and then go and invest. So next step towards getting financially independent is living below your means. And हिंदी में कहावत है, अपने पैर उतने पसारो जितनी आपकी चादर है, बल्कि चादर से थोड़ा नीचे ही रहने दो. So this is actually holds true, and it's very important to understand this and to be able to live below your means. It's very human and it's very natural. As soon as the income increases, our expenses increases. We tend to spend more, even if it is not required. So we need to put a check on that and understand, so we should think about all the aspects before, spending beyond our means. Next check is to check your credit card bills. So credit card bills are an indicator whether you are spending beyond you can actually afford. So that is something credit. So that is not a loan. A lot of people consider it as a loan. So it's not credit, it's loan. So you have to repay back, right? So you have to learn to live below your means to be able to have an affordable and a good lifestyle, and also keeping in mind that you want to be financially independent in future. So this point will actually help. So next step is buying assets and not liabilities. So assets are something that generate income for you and liabilities are something that take your money. So be wise and invest in assets only, appreciating assets. So do not get that itch of changing your mobile phone every 3 months or 6 months. You know for yourself what are good assets and what are bad assets. So depreciating assets are actually not required. They are, again, as we talked about in previous point, needs and wants. So you need to identify what is actually your need and what is your want, and you'll be able to differentiate between assets and liability. And last but not the least step is start saving up for your retirement. So retirement will come sooner to you than you think. So actually, the expenses, the current expenses that you are required to manage your household expenses right now, at the time of retirement, which may be 20-30 years away, the expenses will be 2 or 3x than what you are managing currently. You can cross-check the same with your parents. What was their household expenses and what is the current household expense now. So this will actually increase by more than 2 or 3x. So you need to be prepared for that. You need to give the, your investments the benefit of power of compounding. And that can only happen when you start saving up for retirement today only and investing for retirement today only. It's not really true that everybody retires at the age of 60. if you are financially independent, you may retire at the age of 45 or 50 or 55. So why not save that extra bucks today, which you can eventually save. You'll be able to, I'm sure, save up for retirement from today itself. And that will actually lead to a retirement corpus that you actually require to have a good lifestyle in your zero salary days also. So that was all from my side. These are the 7 baby steps that you can actually take to have a financially independent and a financially stable life. Do let me know in comment section if you like this video. And if you like this video, so don't forget to give a thumbs up. And also if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions that you would like to share, please share in the comment section, and we'll be bringing our next video for you soon. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.